Okay, when you're starting your project, you want to make sure that you have looked through all of the things that you're using. So you've got, first you start with your brainstorming, then you doodle some. Notice I've gone ahead and decided on what type of text I want to use. Look at some of the things that are available to you, so I researched by seeing what kinds of text were available to me. Do some thumbnails to see what kind of colors, what kind of placement, what kind of shapes you're going to use. Then put them into a storyboard to show the actual spacing and timing. Give yourself some idea of what things you want to do. If that isn't helpful. So you want to look at and write down underneath it the kind of things you're going to be using to say, okay, so I'm going to say maybe 48 frames for this first one. I'm going to start out with run over here, and then I'm going to write down at the bottom the word run will be still for 48 frames. And then for the second part here I've got, okay, run's going to start, it's going to anticipate moving, it's going to move across the screen, and then it's going to stop and squash down. And then underneath that I write the principles of anticipation and stretch and squash, slow in, slow out, tweening, motion tweening, and the word run moves left to right. In the background, the shape tween a gradient. And I say I think maybe I'll use 45 frames. So like this, you want to make sure that you get a good idea of what you want to do, what kind of things you want to say, and how you're going to put that together. Once you've got that decided, then you can go on to opening Flash. So you want to open Flash, and we're using ActionScript 3.0. Opening up, and good idea to check to see what your screen fit-in window, what it's going to look like all together, so you can see the whole thing at one time. And now we've got this new untitled document that's File, Save As, and you want to save it where you want it to go. So I'm going to put it into my folder, vkProj. I'm going to call it my coded name eventually, but for right now I'm going to call it Project 1. And I'll put my initials at the end so it doesn't overwrite anything else. And then I will change the name when I go to output it, but I want to make sure that I know what the project name is and I know where I'm putting it. And I've checked that, so I know here I am. I'm on my desktop in a folder. Okay. Save that. Now we'll check the size. 24 frames per second, the size is correct. If you need to change it, remember you come over to Edit Document Properties, and you look here, Dimensions, 1280 width by 720 height. The background will be white right now. I don't really care about that. I'm going to put in a background. The frame rate is 24. Say OK for that. And now we can go ahead and create some layers. Let's make one layer for each set of words here, or each word itself. So I've got 4 words, and I've got a background. So layer 1 is going to be my background layer. Layer 2, I'm going to make layer 2 be run. Layer 3 will be stop. Layer 4 will be drink. And layer 5 will be burp. So I've got those all set up. Now I'm going to Command S to save it. And that makes it a lot easier if you just use the Command S. I want to turn on my rulers because I like being able to use the guides from time to time. So here it is. This is my file, all set up. My stage is white. I've got my default colors, black and white. If you don't, you can just click on that to get the default colors, because you will change those, of course, but you may as well start with something that's completely neutral.